Can a riddle make you laugh? The War Thor. A good Ben Affleck Batman movie? We'll talk about all this, plus EG Games, on this week's Nerd News. Hey everyone, I'd just like to take a quick moment to let you know to check out Cloud9 Comics. They are actually helping us bring this show to you. Paul and the guys over there, they're really good if you're trying to get rid of some of the comics, maybe cluttering up your closet or your spare bedroom. Or if you're maybe just looking to pick up some new stuff. They got a lot of raw comics that can help you fill out some holes in your collections, and Paul is 100% the guy to buy CGC stuff from. He definitely knows his stuff. He knows what to be watching out for as far as valuable things. And he's definitely the place you can go to find everything you need. So find him on eBay. Just search Cloud9 Comics and more. They got DVDs, toys, everything you need.
Thank you for tuning in to Entertain the Geeky, your source for nerd news.
So guys, what's going on? This is Jason here with Nerd News for the week. Chris is sitting in here with me too.
Guys, what's up?
So I'd first like to touch on the director of the upcoming Batman film from the DCEU is saying that he wants to see a Batman movie. He wants to make a Batman movie that kind of takes Batman back to what the roots of his character are. The guy who comes in, it's a crime scene, he finds the clues, and he solves the mystery, which leads him to, the villain or the criminal.
The Detective Comics.
Yeah. He's actually, quoted as saying in an interview, he doesn't understand why there hasn't been a Batman movie that has tried that yet. He doesn't understand, and he's not saying that any of the other Batman movies aren't good movies. He goes on to say that they are. They're very good films. But there's definitely a lack of investigation and a mystery to any of the stories we've seen in a Batman movie up to this point. And I think we're missing out on something, the kind of detective noir story, and that's what he says he really wants to do.
That'd be amazing with Batfleck.
I mean, it could be. I mean, he definitely brought something interesting to the role of Batman. I think even though Batman vs. Superman was not that good of a film, he was a shining moment in it, him and Wonder Woman, for sure.
Oh, man, that guy is Batman.
Yeah.
He exudes all that is Batman. He's so cool.
He did. He did a good job playing the Bruce Wayne moments in the little party that Lex Luthor invites him to. And he did a good job being the intimidating, scary character that has to, instill fear into the hearts of criminals.
Hells yeah.
So it might be interesting to see a movie finally do something like that. Finally give us that kind of take on the character.
It's time.
Yeah.
Like it's time. Like, Nolan's run as Batman, where that's basically regarded as the holy grail of Batman movies.
They were very good.
Cool movies. Not Detective Batman.
They took Batman and they made him an action star. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
I feel like that's normally what's done with Batman in Hollywood.
That's normally what's done with most heroes in Hollywood.
That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, that doesn't mean that has to... Again, that doesn't mean that that's wrong. It just means that there are other ways to tell the story. And another way to tell the story is to have it be a mystery. I mean, they're still going with Deathstroke as the villain. So there could be a very interesting kind of... He's investigating crime around the world because of all these weird hits that are happening on people. And he doesn't know who's doing it.
It could even start in Gotham.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And he tracks it around the world because he's a freaking detective.
Well, because he's a billionaire, right? He has a million excuses to leave the country, right? I'm a businessman. I'm gonna go to Spain, and we're gonna talk about things there.
Play on this yacht with these beautiful women,
right? I mean, Batman literally has a built-in. That's one of the great things about him. He literally has a built-in excuse to go anywhere he wants in the world, to track crime, to cast that global net to catch crime, and it's great. And I really hope that. The director of that's going to bring this to life, who was supposed to be Ben Affleck, but he, I guess, is getting cold feet because some of the movies haven't really been critically received very well. And so he's just kind of, he doesn't want to do that anymore. He doesn't want to put his name on it in that way. But at least the guy that they brought in, it seems like he wants to take it in the right direction.
I don't know if it's all the success of the movies. Because obviously, Batman v Superman was a successful film. It made $800 million.
It made its money, for sure.
That's a lot of money. I think for him, it's more so the studio. I think he came into this, and basically Warner Brothers was like, "Hey, we're going to give you the keys to the castle. Direct your own Batman film. Blah 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 blah."
Sure.
And then they started interfering, and I feel like that might be what his hang up is. He's like, "Man, it sucks to work for these people," and they did the same thing to David Ayer. Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Like, they clipped that dude's wings, and then his movie didn't get the best reviews. It was a fun movie nonetheless, but didn't get the reviews that it could have.
I didn't really think it was that fun of a movie, to be honest.
It's a discussion for another time.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, the big studios can be hard to work with. That's not a secret in Hollywood.
Maybe that's... I feel like that's what he's running into, and based on the few articles that I've read about his interactions with Warner Brothers, I think that might be the case. I'm not 100%. I haven't got to talk to the guy.
Right.
Maybe I will. I don't know. I'll call him.
If you're listening, right, give us a call. We'll talk about it, Ben.
546-GO-GEEKY. That's our phone number. It's true.
We'll talk about Batman. We'll talk about all that stuff. It'll be great. So yeah, I just really hope that what we're about to see is something that we can be happy with, something that can break this mold of, yes, movies that make a lot of money, but the fans really are responding poorly to it. And the fans are ultimately, yes, you don't go into it trying to please the fans, but if you don't have the fans, it might not be as successful.
Fair point.
Right? If you just have to worry, if you're just targeting the mainstream audience who does not know the backstory for the characters, you'll probably get people to go see it, but you might not get as many as you'd want.
How many times do you go to see a superhero movie while it's in theaters?
It varies. I mean, when Avengers came out, I think we saw that like 8 times.
Okay. Why? Because it was a cool film.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Cool flick.
Yeah.
And I feel like with these with the DC movies, you don't get a lot of repeat visits to the movie theater to see it.
That's probably true. I only saw all of them once.
And it's just not, the quality's not there. Like, it's not as exciting. I didn't watch Batman v Superman until it was out on DVD.
That happened to me with Suicide Squad. I saw Batman, Superman, but I did not see Suicide Squad until it was out.
I went Suicide Squad opening day. I was so geeked about the Jared Leto Joker. Like, I love that guy. And then...
You could be the Jared Leto Joker.
I'm not Jared Leto.
You kind of got that guy's features.
Yeah. Thanks. But he was in the movie like an awkward amount. And like, I read a review and that's what the reviewer said. And I'm like, I was trying to put my finger on what it was, but the amount that he was in the movie was awkward. And
right.
I felt like it detracted, either it needed more Joker or it needed less Joker. But the amount that he was in there was not right.
Right.
But there were moments where, like for him, he shined. There's a scene in that movie where he spins this guy around in a chair after making him kiss his ring and sits on his lap. That is so the Joker, man.
It is. There's definitely moments of his performance, but I think overall, if you're going to put the Joker in a movie, why is he not the villain?
He has to be.
He should be the villain.
He has to be. The Joker could have orchestrated everything to get the squad together. That would have been cool.
Right. Or he could have just been on a murderous rampage, and that would have provided an excellent kind of psychological aspect for Harley, who now has to take him down.
Yeah, that would have been amazing. And then she runs off into the sunset with him.
Well, of course, you're always going to question her loyalty to him or to Amanda, right? But yeah. So I think it definitely could have been a better movie. But overall, they've not really shined as much. And I hope that trend can change as we go forward.
I mean, Wonder Woman
shined.
That's their golden ticket.
Yeah.
So
she was great. Gal Gadot is amazing.
That lady. Ha!
All the people. I mean, Chris Pine, right? Who I'm not the greatest fan of some of the stuff he's done, but Steve Trevor.
Yeah.
He killed it with Steve Trevor. I think he was great.
He done good. He done good. You done good, kid. Don't let it go to your head. You're not Captain Kirk. All right, what else you got in news?
So Marvel's actually so Jason Aaron's been writing Thor since the start of a story called Thor: God of Thunder.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, and that ran for about 25 issues, and it was really good. And throughout the course of that story, Thor becomes unworthy to wield the hammer, as many of you might know. And we might get into a little bit of spoilery territory. So if you haven't been reading Thor, but you're trying to catch up, go catch up and then come back and listen to what we're talking about. But basically, at the very end of that run, he became unworthy, and a woman picked up the hammer. And we went a good amount of issues without understanding who this woman was. And Thor was trying to find out, and they kind of pulled a fast one on us, and we thought we knew, and then they kind of switched it around, and it turned out it was Jane Foster.
Aha! Dying of cancer.
Cancer, Jane Foster, yeah. And that was great. I mean, that led into a series in the aftermath of Secret Wars called Mighty Thor, and that series has been great. Well, Secret Wars did one other thing, right? It got rid of the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah, no, you take 2 pizzas.
Yeah. And you smash them together. That is what they did. And they're left with some of the Ultimate characters and some things from the Ultimate Universe as part of the regular Marvel Universe. Specifically, Ultimate Thor's hammer. Now, the original Ultimate Thor's hammer was actually just a piece of tech, because he didn't have his godlike powers, but they had found a way to simulate his godlike powers. Eventually, he was Thor. He was the rightful, heir to the Asgardian throne. He carried a hammer that looked more like Mjolnir. But he had a weapons vault, and the hammer that looked like Ultimate Thor's hammer was hanging in there. It was actually at one point his weapon. So in the aftermath of Secret Wars, it finds its way to the moon, and it just sits up there. In fact, unworthy Thor tried to claim it, but he decided that he wasn't worthy. He made the choice himself.
That makes him worthy right there.
Well,
that right there makes him worthy.
But another has claimed it. And again, we're going to get into a little bit of spoilery territory, but that other is being touted as the War Thor. So there is something about to go down that is going to necessitate a more visceral Thor character. And that person is Volstagg, which you might not think is the most visceral guy, but he may be big and he may be funny, but he's a fighter, first and foremost. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, there's a couple issues that have come out since that I have not yet read, but I definitely am interested to see where this story goes, and whether or not we will see another switch to the title and it will become Ultimate Thor again. It'll be interesting. There's definitely a lot of mystery as to what this impending doom will be that will require this more brutal Thor to be the thing. And Jane, Jane's dying. She's got cancer.
She ain't gonna last forever.
She's not gonna last forever, and there will need to be someone that carries the mantle of Thor.
Maybe the Odin son will find himself to be worthy again.
I mean, that will probably happen inevitably eventually. I'd say probably right around the time Thor Ragnarok's going to hit theaters, they'll probably make Thor worthy again.
Probably.
Well, it's a tactic. It's a business tactic. They're business.
Yeah, it is, unfortunately. Keep the comics and the cinematic universe separate, but...
Well, as it should be, but they can't let Star-Lord not be Star-Lord, Chris Pratt is Star-Lord now to most people, so, Star-Lord comics got to be a little Chris Pratt.
They could have... see, here's the thing. They could do, and it doesn't have to be something. It could be something that's outside of canon. Just do a fun little Star-Lord line.
Sure.
Or that Guardians.
Have
those guys running around together.
There's other ways to make it feel connected. They just choose to do it in a more direct way.
They do it the wrong way.
Yeah.
What else you got?
So keep it on comics over in DC. And I know I talked about Batman already. I talked about Batman on the last show. You're going to come to know I like Batman a lot. So that is definitely the book I keep up with the most. And that I'm excited to read every issue of. And so Batman is recounting a tale to Catwoman about what he considers to be his greatest failure as Batman.
Nice.
Yeah, and this is a couple of years into his time as Batman, and they're calling the storyline The War of Jokes and Riddles. So if you're familiar with the canon, it's a Joker, it's a riddle. They're kind of Joker, Riddler, kind of at war with one another. Joker, the way Tom King, Tom King is the writer of the book, the way he is portraying Joker right now, is not the funny, laughy, ha-ha type Joker we have come to know, where...
It's like the Heath Ledger Joker?
It's actually more like there's no humor in him at all. So what you get is just a sociopath, right? With no remorse, with no emotion.
With just makeup.
Well, not makeup. I mean, his face is literally...
Oh, he doesn't have any face paint at all?
Like no, his face is white.
Lipstick.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, he kind of has
to have lipstick.
He kind of has the face going on, but
okay.
Mostly it's...
That's all that matters to me.
Mostly he's just humorless at this point. And it's scary, and it's a really interesting way to tell a Joker story. Especially, it's a great way to tell a Batman story as well, because not only are we watching a younger Batman really dealing with the ramp up of these two chaotic people for the first time, but we are also seeing a Batman from the future narrating this tale. So it has also provided some very interesting dialogue, inner monologue for him.
I can imagine.
Right, because what you see a side of Batman that you don't see. What you see out of Batman is this person that it doesn't matter if the person that is a victim of this is a thug or an innocent family. Batman knows who they are. Batman respects all life, and that's his goal, is to prevent the terrible death. Even if you're a bad guy, he doesn't want you to die. And so you see, the family in the park and the henchmen that got caught in the crossfire, Batman knows them in and out. and he felt for their deaths. And that's just a side of Batman that we don't see very often. And I don't think it's any coincidence that he's telling this story to Catwoman, a character who he has always felt more emotionally comfortable with, which is hard, right? He doesn't even feel emotionally comfortable with his son. Catwoman is probably the only person that he's ever felt a connection with on that level.
I mean, him and Catwoman have been a thing for 100 years, though.
It's an on and off thing, though,
it's
right?
a thing nonetheless.
Tom King has also done something that preluded this story that might change Batman's history forever.
They're getting married.
He proposed to Selina. And now, in this moment, he wants her to know him. If she's going to be able to answer that question, he wants her to know who he is and the things he's done and the things he's had to do in the pursuit of Batman. So he's telling her this story, like I said, of his greatest failure. And we're only a few issues in, but I gotta tell you, it is epic.
Is it?
I mean, we are going, I think, 6 issues with this one, 6 or 7. But it is just great. Not only are we getting amazing narration from Batman, but we have some amazing moments for Riddler. Even one that is an homage to the 80s Batman movie, where he's literally sitting in a chair and a guy's like standing there with a mirror and he's yelling at him to give him the mirror. And he says, "You see what I have to work with here." And he breaks the mirror and he laughs. It's great.
Bat nipples are there. No, I'm kidding.
See, the funny thing about it is, though, Nigma is actually wearing this coat. I mean, it's green. He's got his little question mark motif going on, but he has no shirt on, and he has the coat, like, open, like Don Johnson.
Okay.
With his, like, pecs exposed. And it's a weird way to see the Riddler, because we're used to seeing the Riddler as a more nerdy, reserved guy who is not physically imposing, but is mentally imposing. So it's weird to see that side of him as well. And it's actually funny when you turn the page and you see that. It's goofy. I mean, so it provides a nice little bit of humor from the character you wouldn't expect. So yeah, I'm excited about. I'm definitely excited about what DC and Marvel have going on here leading in the future.
Pipeline.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll have a good Batman movie.
Sweet
To look forward to in the near future.
that would be amazing.
Hopefully, Justice League will do all right.
Joss Whedon can only do so much.
Exactly. I mean, it's Zack Snyder's film still.
Yeah. They're like, "Joss, you want to do the reshoots?" You know what's going to happen is he's going to get in there, and it maybe in some profound way, because he can play with the big studio execs. He's already done it.
You could say, though, that's what ultimately led to him, like, backing out and not making movies for a while.
Well, I mean, it was, and he said that, but he also said he wouldn't be opposed to doing it again. And here we are.
Sure.
You know, they're like, "Hey, you got a Batgirl movie? Oh, yeah, here, do these reshoots." Like, this is his time to shine, and, like, maybe it'll be a chance for a big studio to be like, "All right, we're gonna fucking back off." Forgive my language.
No.
But we're gonna back off.
Yeah.
Like, this guy has already done it once. He made a movie that made $1.2 billion or something insane. No, $1.6 billion is what the Avengers grossed.
Yeah.
Insane amounts of money. Doubled what
It's
Batman and
the
Superman
number
did.
2 highest grossing film of all time.
Yeah, nuts. So just some crazy number. Like, this guy knows what to do.
Yeah.
You just sit back, shut up, and let him do it.
Well, he does ensembles well. That's what I think Joss Whedon's talent lies. You can look at Buffy, you can look at Firefly, you can look at Avengers. He definitely handles the ensemble well, balancing that many characters. So hopefully he'll bring a little bit of that to the scenes he's going to reshoot for Justice League.
Maybe he'll reshoot enough that it makes a profound difference in a good movie.
I think what we're seeing is going to still be a Zack Snyder.
No, it will be.
And that doesn't mean that it's going to be bad. I haven't really liked what Zack Snyder's done up to this point, but maybe with the huge cast and like this is the point where his big over-the-top cinematography with the slow motion, this is where it's appropriate because it's Justice League. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see Aquaman flying through the air, stabbing a guy with a trident. I want to see Wonder Woman lassoing people and flying away. You know, like, I want to see those things happen. So hopefully this is the movie will at least, his style is going to be well represented.
Absolutely.
Fingers crossed.
And then before we wrap up Nerd News here, EG Games, guys, we're still here. There's going to be a bunch of stuff coming very, very, very soon. I know you guys have heard us mention Cooks and all that stuff on air, and Merle's Truck Stop in Maine. Merle's Truck Stop in Maine is going to be going up very soon. The guys, Matt and Jeff, are really excited to be getting this stuff out and to you. So all of the stuff is going to be available in our store very, very soon. I don't have an exact release date yet, but I can tell you it's coming. It's coming fast. And me and Roger are beyond excited right now. We got off the phone with our attorney today, and it was like all good news. It's like, hey, go guys, go.
That's great.
Yeah, so we're stoked. You got any parting words to leave us with here?
I think I will sign off in the same fashion I did last time. It's just like, keep reading, keep watching the movies, keep supporting the things that you love, and stay geeky.